we have to go further than most humans do. That is what's current in this new era, is that we have to go further than anybody ever really tried. Whether it comes to carpentry or with the mind. Because everybody says that mind truly is matter. Over matter. Mind is truly over matter. And you hear all of these stories of mentalism. So it's like you gotta understand, it's like maybe there is interesting idealism in that. But then when it comes to the matter, we have to matter too. But what we have to do is take every breath of fresh air and enjoy that prana. We have to become one with nature, because everything is really all one. Like we are all in correspondence. We are all in gender. We are all in rhythm. We are all one in the end. Everything is love we have to find within ourselves, because there's the internal heart, what makes us drive ourselves, and then there's the external world, which everybody tries to convince you what you are and tries to bend you to their will. But you know in the inner of all hearts that no one can ever bend your will from what is from your natural will, your natural beliefs, and your natural structure in life. Because nobody can ever take that away. Because you and everybody is themselves. And if the exterior world tries to change them, well then tough luck. You can't ever change that internal heart from ever believing in anything else other than what the individual believes, because that internal heart is basically pure. Nothing can define it, nothing can change it, nothing can structure it other than how you want it, because everything is always made out of matter, but yet everything is always made out of particles, but also waves. We are the mixture of spiritual body and physical body. People always wanted to structure it like there's a separation, but that was the age of Pisces, when the fish's tails were tied together and they were both unhappy, the spirit body and the physical. But now that it's the age of Aquarius and that spirit body merges with the physical body, now everything is changing. And everything has been changing and will continue to change until man idealizes further than any man from the past. And that'll be just the basic individual. The higher individuals that create philosophy and write and make artwork and all this, the higher society, this will become grander. And it will become another golden age. But everything is increasing in frequency. Everybody is enjoying a new life of light, love, and support. Nothing can ever bend these rules outside of the individuals, outside of the masters of the chess game. No one can change who and what humanity has become. And right now, we are going back to a higher state and evolving our consciousness. You can see the evolution of this process ever since December 21st, 2012. Since the new era has began, the rise of consciousness, the fall of Christianity, the fall of religion, but the rising of peaceful consciousness. Bend the old rules, but never bend thyself to others. You see, the old Hindus believed that in the male and female aspect. The Shiva, which was the destroyer, the male aspect. And then there was the Shakti, the serpentine female energy. And you can always see that balance in the universe. Everybody has their own inner Shiva, and everybody has their own inner Shakti. Both are divine, and both are serpentine. Shiva always is depicted with a snake around the neck, and the snake in everything of Gnosis represents inner divine wisdom. And that is what is the serpent in the end, is wisdom. And the serpent will be one of the emblems of humanity in the future to come, because without that serpent we can never become spiritual. There would be no spirituality without the serpent. And the woman, the Shakti, is also serpentine, because she's always depicted dancing with the snake, or being humble and peaceful. But there's always a balance between the male and female energy. There's always yin, which is masculine and hot, and black, darkness, which all that represents is the feminine and cool to the touch. And then there's the third way, the middle way, the ultimate middle way. And that is the answer to the call of the serpent. Because that's what it all boils down to, is that Shiva is the divine masculine, the serpent male energy, the prana of the man, the virility of his dick, which is the serpent. And that is why penis worship is revered all around the world, because the dick is the virility of the snake. And if the penis, the male genitalia, is the serpent, well, then the vagina of the female, of the Shakti, the divine female within, is the home of the snake. Her vagina represents the home of the snake. That's where she belongs. And the semen represents the spurts of wisdom, the spurts of growth, the spurts of everything that is desire. The orgasm represents the highest cosmic self. But we always have to find our inner self. We can't just stare at a rock and focus on the external world, because then we will be bent to its knees. We can't stare at a rock as much as a building or an artificial structure that we tend to hate, because nobody in their internal hearts would like fictitious structures made out of cement and brick and wood and plastic and whatever else you can think of, because that is not living. It's not an organism like this. This is an organism. This is an organism. That's an organism. We need to find a way to adapt and survive. And we just have to keep in mind of the middle way, the third way. There's always a third perspective. There's always a third way of life. All the way down to gender. There's always a third way. And if you actually research it, hermaphrodite is just the word. It's just the original meaning of hermaphrodite is the mixture of the energies of Hermes and Aphrodite to make the most divine spirit of all. That's what the original interpreters meant when they came up with the word hermaphrodite, the most divine spirit, the most divine perspective of the male mixed with the female, the most divine aspects of the female, to make an ultimate being. That's what the original meaning of that word was supposed to mean. That's what we all were meant to be, is to find, because like mentally, not physically, just find a way to make the best of it. It's the middle way. It's the best way in life. It's the middle way. It's always the most neutral. It's the neutral way. You can't use yin, yang, and then there's the middle way, which basically kind of is Hermes Aphrodite, you know? But we have to all increase this vibrational frequency of Earth, because it keeps getting higher and higher, and the last time it's been this high, you know, men and women and children were just taking their first steps on the lost island of the ancient Atlantis. Peace.